This is part 2 of our weekly 3 litter update for these Australian Labradoodle puppies from our Lucky Charms and Sky and Tide litter. This is our blended family, and this is why we're doing our video in 2 parts. Down here we have the puppies from the Lucky Charms litter that Joya donated to Raven so that Harley here, Harlem is her full name, wouldn't be a singleton and left all on her own. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and continuing on with this week's update, the first thing we're going to do is a little update here on Mama Raven, and Mama Raven is doing very nicely. What she would like is to have all of the puppies be hers to look after. She is such a beautiful, caring, and devoted mom. She is constantly going over and visiting the puppies on Joya's side and wondering if she can somehow figure out how to move them from over there to over here. She would take all 9 if she could. And in her last litter, she did have 9 puppies. This litter, we have just the singleton here, Miss Harlem. But that's okay. She is just an amazing puppy. So Raven's feeling quite comfortable. She's eating fairly well. She's very picky. She doesn't like one of the brands of food. It's very hard to find a puppy formula in raw food. I finally found a Canadian one rather than having to import American food. But of course, she doesn't like it. She likes the American one. And at the same time, to be fair, Joya doesn't like the American one very much, and she really likes the Canadian one. So of course the freezer has to be stocked with both. But she is eating fairly well. She eats almost she eats about 3/4 to 1 pound per meal 4 times a day. So she's a little less than what Joya is eating, but she's doing well. We had a couple of days where she wouldn't eat and I had to force feed her, but she's back to eating properly, and she too generally chooses to eat out with all the other dogs. Sometimes she asks me to put it in her room, which of course I do if she prefers. So other than that, she's doing great. She's out and about. She comes out for very short periods of time to hang out with us. Her guardian mom, Marion, came and visited her the other day, and that just made her day. She loved having that visit. And one thing that I really enjoy about these girls, and really all of our girls, is when their moms and dads come to visit them. They love it, they go crazy, they can't wait to show them their puppies, and then they want them to not look at their puppies and just pay attention to them. But when their moms and dads leave, they're fine. There's no drama, there's no crying, there's no pouting. They just go, oh, okay, it's fine. I'm back to my family now. And I really love that our moms are always so comfortable with being a mom and enjoy being a mom, and also have that level of trust that their human is always going to be there for them. So we really enjoy that. So thank you, Miss Raven. Now, we were talking in part 1 of this video about the fact that the puppies are going to be moving out into an open area. Now, at first when we were discussing this, Reynolds and I were trying to figure out what we would do, because Raven and Joya would be side by side and able to see each other. And at that point, they were still arguing, as I was talking about in the week 2 litter update. However, that's passed. We made quite a concerted effort to convince them that they would be able to get along, and really it's not due in any part to our expertise, much more just to natural instincts evolving. So I can't take the credit for it, but they've decided that they can now do things together. So they go out together, they eat together, and they hang out in the house with us together. So it's really nice. It's much easier logistically, and they visit back and forth from whelping box to whelping box under supervision. We don't ever leave them alone. But despite all of that, when we make the open areas for the puppies, what we're going to do is we're going to put our supply table and our other supply rack in between the 2 enclosures. Yes, they could break that down. Yes, they could jump out. There's always a small risk that that could happen and get angry, jump into the other ones and go after them. It's possible, but not likely. So having them separated this way and letting them each be able to establish they have their own spot, I think will just do the trick. We're at week 3. These puppies are going to lose their moms. Their moms are going to go home to their families at week 6. So we're halfway through the process. So we've got just 3 weeks where they are side by side with their moms there. Now after next week, after week 4, the moms will start to spend a lot more time. It'll be a significant difference in the amount of time they're away from their puppies. And then we will start weaning them around week 4. It won't really amount to much, but it will be the beginning of the process. By week 5, they will be eating on their own with very limited access to the milk bar. And then by week 6, the milk bar will have disappeared. So we're halfway through. We're already friends, so we're feeling pretty happy that things are going to go smoothly. Fingers crossed. If not, then we will come up with what we will do is we'll put the maternity ward in between the 2 rooms so that they have a significant block between the 2 of them. Now in our previous home, we would often have 2 and 3 and even sometimes 4 litters, and they were all in the same area together. So this is not something unusual or new or high risk. It's just because these actual puppies belong to Joya. And of course she is aware at some level of that. So that's the only reason why we have any extra caution that we're taking with commingling these 2 out in the doodle den. And once the mums go home, then we will fully integrate the puppies with one another. There will be just one area and they will all be out there together. Now Joya's puppies all have their ears and eyes open, and before deciding to move anyone, we waited for Harlem because Harlem is a few days younger, and so we don't want to rush her along and make her try to get to reach any goals before she's supposed to be there. We don't want to put her in a situation where she's not ready for it. But her ears are almost completely open. She can hear, and her eyes are open as well. I don't think she's showing them to you right now. She opened her eyes exactly on the day she turned 2 weeks. There she is showing you her eyes. So puppy's eyes are all blue when they first open, and they're not really seeing a whole lot. Mostly it's just shapes, but they are able to distinguish the difference now between us and their moms. They can't tell the difference between their moms by looking at them, just by scent. But they can tell, oh, that's the human, that's my mom, that's another dog. They can do all of that and start putting it together in their sweet little heads. So now when the puppies move out into the open area, of course they're going to be able to see far more, and there will be a lot more things going on that they have not had as part of their lives up till now. So there'll be activity, they'll see us coming in and out regularly, they'll be able to see what we're doing, they'll be able to hear all the clatter of when we make their food and when we do all the dishes, the washing machine, we have a puppy washing machine, they'll hear that going. And then we will start to introduce some other sounds to them towards the end of next week, and those will be very subtle. So we have a variety of different playlists that we use, and we just introduce all of this very gradually and at levels that don't cause them any distress or alarm. Now, orange color is showing you how yeah, they're up on all fours, but it's a little wigglety-pigglety here, and you can see what a mess Raven left here. She was just outside in the garden before we started filming, so she's left all of her wet and dirty paws here. Now this is something that sometimes people ask us about in terms of safety and what the dogs are exposed to when they're still unvaccinated. So Raven and Joy are not permitted to go anywhere other than our own backyard, which of course is securely fenced, and no other dogs or any other creatures other than some rabbits and deer get back there. So that way we keep everybody as safe as possible. There's never a 100% guarantee. Now the other thing we're going to start doing is introducing some toys for the puppies. Right now they've had nothing other than mom. So the first things that we do is we have things that are dangly so they can see it, and then when they walk by they'll brush against it and it will move. So that serves a couple of purposes. First of all, it gives them something that they're not expecting and teaches them that, oh, this is actually something that's fun, nothing to be worried about. Second of all, it gives them something that they can interact with, start developing their coordination, their paw-eye coordination. Gives them something to chew on, because already we're going to start teething pretty quickly here and getting those baby teeth through. So we have a variety of different things, different textures, and we'll also introduce large stuffed animals so that they become comfortable with having something foreign that, you know, sort of vaguely resembles a dog in with them, so they're not scared of other things that are going to run into during their lives. So that's really where desensitization is going to start. And it's just going to keep building and building and building. And some days it will be multiple things in a day. Some days it'll be something new that it carries over for a couple of days. We will also be introducing the crate to the puppies. When they're in their open area, they will have a bed. Everything will be covered wall to wall with pee pads, and there will be a crate. And the reason we put the crate in now is so that they can start to associate it with a place that's really nice, cozy, and safe to sleep in. So that when we start moving on through Head Start with your puppy, I think every puppy is in Head Start in this litter, which is great, because then we can just start like right now. When we do that, then when we move into having them on their own in the crate with the door closed in Head Start, it makes that transition for them much, much easier, much smoother, and much more comfortable when they've already figured out on their own that, oh, this box is a nice place to be, I like it, it's cozy, and I feel safe in here. Because what happens is now they will start to develop, not generally, they'll have their rhythm will be as a group, but there'll always be one, just like right now, Orange is the one who's still awake and wanting to move around. And so the others would be in the crate, able to sleep, and removed from Orange being out in the play area. And Orange would be able to carry on and do her thing, or find somebody else who wants to be out playing with her. So all of these things are going to happen this next 2 to 3 weeks. There are going to be enormous changes and developments, just like we've gone from such a big change from birth through to week 3 that we have the puppies here. And now, Raven, do you want to come back in? You want to be with the puppies or mommy? Yeah, you're going to be with mommy? Here, do you want me to move my legs? There we go. What a good girl you are. So what we're going to do now is go through the weights for the rest of the puppies here, so that we finish up with all the puppies and our update for this week. Put your paw down here. And so the first puppy that we have in this group is Orange Collar Girl, our little Energizer bunny today. And Orange Collar is the smallest puppy in the litter, the one with the most energy. Maybe that's why she weighs the least. She is 1.1 kilograms, and she just made it to the 1.1. She's really 1.08, but it was moving around enough on the scale that we can call it as 1.1. And then we have Light Blue, who she's going to use as a pillow. So I'm just going to move her over here. You go to the end, because we've done with you. Light Blue is this, a chocolate party girl. And you can see, compared to the other two party girls, she really has the most markings on her. Now this little girl, I think, is going to get what I call smooshing, which is more properly referred to as freckling, because I can already see around these spots here that there is some brown underneath. If I go like this, I can see that, oh yeah, this is actually starting to connect. So we'll end up with, if you look on our website under the boys in the Our Dogs section, and you look up Samurai, he's a black and white smoosh dog, you'll see what I think she's going to end up looking like. And you'll see that compared to purple color and dark blue color, her nose is much more filled in. And she's going to close her eyes and go to sleep here. I can also see the smooshing on her paw here. So all of those are telling me that she's going to have quite a lot of freckling. Now, freckling is something that in a party, if these were show dogs, you wouldn't want. So here's a good example of a hybrid dog like an Australian Labradoodle. This is not something that we view as being a terrible problem and a dog that isn't worthy of the breed standard. It simply is something that's happening in her coat. It doesn't impact anything. It is just aesthetic. So Miss Beauty Queen here, our little light blue color girl, she weighs 1.2 kilograms. So we've got 3 of them at 1.2, and it's purple, pink, and light blue. 2 parties and 1 solid. There we go, sweetheart. Oh my goodness, Orange's head must be very heavy today, because no matter where she goes, she's got to rest her head. First of all, it was light blue and I moved her, and now she's on silver. So silver collar girl here. I'm sorry, honey, but I'm going to disturb your pillow yet again. This is a good size chocolate phantom girl. There she is. Oh, she says, I just want to spread my legs out, pretend I can fly. I'm pretending I'm a butterfly. There we go. Hi, sweetheart. This little lady is one of the larger puppies. She's tied with Mr. Green at 1.4 kilograms. So she is a really good, solid weight. You can see that she's quite wide. Yes, she is. There's quite a lot to her. That's a big girl. Obviously, she doesn't have any problem finding her way around the milk bar when Raven is in here feeding them. There, you go back and give Orange Color Girl a little bit of a pillow again. So that's all of the puppies from the Lucky Charms litter. And then here we have Harlem, and light blue is making sure that she's safe and sound, has her paw over her. So sweet. Miss Harlem, oh, this little girl is just a little superstar. She is just keeping up with no problem with the puppies from the other litter. She doesn't have any issues in really the fact that they are older than she is. She's quite happy to try and do what they're doing. She's already standing up and moving around a bit too, because I think she's just mimicking what they do. Such a pretty little girl, right, Harlem? And Miss Harlem is 800 grams. So she's going to be, you know, she's really not very far away from Orange Collar Girl here. But when you put them side by side, it looks like there's really quite a big difference in size. But weight-wise, there isn't that much. What you're seeing is a lot more of the sort of filling in and filling out that goes on as they get older. So that's our updates for this week. We welcome any comments that you may have. Now, if you're getting a puppy from this litter, you will get an educational video, actually 2 this week, that discusses socialization. Because we start your puppy is well underway by the time you take it home, and then you take over the role from there. So it's one of the most important things that you're going to do as a family. We want to make sure all our families are reading through Perfect Puppy in 7 Days by Sophia Yin. We would appreciate it if you have that finished just around the time you come for your family visit, as you'll get your homework assignment after the visit, and there is a question on the homework related to that book. It's an easy read. You can also get it in video if you want to watch it as a video. Sometimes that's easier for kids if it's a video as opposed to reading it every day or every night. And then the other thing too, just touching on your homework assignment, because everybody is in Head Start, look at little Harlem's really going there. See, this is how they get their muscles developing. So she's really having a great effort there, getting herself in good shape. Because everybody's in Head Start, And just so you will all know, when you do your homework assignment, then this is when you have the opportunity to give us information about yourself, what you're looking for in your puppy, and anything in particular that it is that you want your puppy to be doing. If you're not sure what's in our Head Start program, just search for Head Start on our channel here, and you can see the video that explains the program for you. You can also find it as a link on our website. If you just go to the home page, you'll see there is a link for Head Start that again explains everything that's involved and what it offers for you. So we really hope you enjoyed today's update. Next week, they're going to be moving around a lot more. We'll hear some growling and some barking. They are doing that already. They just didn't decide to do that for us today. And you'll start to really see a little bit more of their personality start to shine through. So we really hope you enjoyed the update, that you'll join us again next week. And don't forget to drop me a comment and be sure you're subscribed to our channel. Thanks so much for watching.